All right. So this is going to be kind of a working session on integrating translations in Spark AR Studio. So the first thing, we'll need a script. Doesn't need to be named anything. I'm going to clear out all this junk so we just get what we need. And I like just calling it D, diagnostics D. Makes things a little bit easier when you're trying to debug stuff quickly. So the idea is we're going to have some text that says hello in our scene. So I'm going to add that. Might as well be 3D text. So doesn't look like much right now. And I'm going to put out there, give it a material, just to get rid of that checkerboard pattern. All right, so we got our text. I'm going to name it hello_txt. And that's what we're going to use to find it in the script. So we're going to get the root of the scene and find hello_txt. And then if we want to set the text, yeah, it's text equals whatever hello without the W. That's not how you spell hello. And then let's go, bud. And then what? So in case you didn't know, Control-Alt-I or Command-Alt-I is open up the console. It doesn't look like a script is actually running. Seems like it should run. So to make sure it's running, I'm just going to log out the text. It's not doing anything. So yeah, like I said, working session, I sort of know what I'm doing, but it doesn't always go as planned. Why wouldn't this be working? I don't know, the new UI is like, oh, suddenly started working. I like the new cross-platform Spark, but it has quite a few bugs. Sometimes I just have to restart and start working. So we've got our text, but this is only in English. So like ideally we would make our filter support, 20 languages, whatever. So to do that, we're going to try using Google Translate. But like really, you shouldn't need to translate this text every single time the user loads up the app, but we're kind of going to do that anyway, just for the sake of the demo. And I'll explain like ways you can optimize this and like how the system should actually work in production. So I'm going to make an object called hello, and that's going to have our language codes in it. So English, we know, is going to be hello. And then I'm just going to add in French just because. So that looks good. So actually, we don't want to. We don't want to set that text. Actually, yeah. Okay. So the default, we'll just say it's going to be hello, and then we're going to get the language code from Spark AR. I don't remember how to do that offhand. So let's see, documentation. So you can see in the docs, they have an example for the locale module. This is a little weird. It's kind of a weird way to do it, but yeah, similar stuff. So we're just gonna rip this out and paste it into our script. Oh, so like if you don't want to go through all of this manually by watching the video, the code's going to be up on my GitHub, github.com/projectlabs/spark-translate. All right, back to the code editor. All right, so we're going to import the locale module. I like keeping all the imports at the top just to keep them organized. And then I'm going to clear out these comments just because I don't need them. I don't need semicolons either. So this is going to log out. The language code comes as this string that's like separated by an underscore. Actually, this is D. Now that'll work. So we can see, hopefully, it will show up in the console. This thing is being slow. Okay, there it goes. Yeah, and for whatever reason, it can't get your locale in the simulator, so it comes out as foo_var. But basically, this string would be the language code, and then this one would be location. So I'm in Canada right now, so that would be EN_capital CA, I'm pretty sure. I haven't actually tested this on device, but in theory, that's what it would be. So we've got the language code. I'm actually going to move this. So we can use the language code to map we're going to do that a little bit differently. We're going to use the language code to map to the translation that we have. So txt.text equals hello object at language. And that will, for me, it will say hello. But if we don't have the language pre-translated, we're going to want to either have a fallback. Well, we're going to want to have a fallback of some sort. So like either default, which can be done like this. So if there's no language populated in the object, we're just going to say hello. And currently, it's not being translated. So if not hello at language, so if we don't have a translation, then we're going to translate with Google Translate. So to do this, this is my first time doing this. I'm just kind of working through it. So we're going to need a server to run the Google Translation client libraries, because like usually you wouldn't run something like that on code that the user has access to, because you have to use secret keys. And if they grab those, they can run up your bill, and that's not good. So we're gonna have to make a server. So to do that, it's gonna be a Node.js server. So I'm gonna make a package.json, and that's gonna have all the startup scripts and dependencies and all that good stuff. Okay, so we don't have any tests for this. I use MIT kind of arbitrarily. I don't really care what anybody does with my code as long as I'm not responsible for it. So that's that. So we're going to install, let's see. So this is the get started example. They have an extra character. Anyway, I'm going to copy and paste that and put it into our server script, which doesn't exist yet. So I'm going to make a new file. So I'm kind of blowing through all of this like JavaScript like setup server stuff because that's not really what this tutorial is about. You can write this server in any language you want because it's not tied to Spark in any way. It's just going to be an external thing. So yeah, I'm just going to leave the defaults there. And this isn't actually a server yet, so we're going to go to Express.js. I'm going to do hello world. And this library just kind of abstracts a lot of the complexities in what is happening in setting up a server. So, I mean, if the page loads, it's super simple. All right, so that's our boilerplate. So just to make sure things are running, I'm going to leave this there. And I like doing this just so it's easier to copy and paste, or in VS Code, I can actually just command click this when it shows up in the console. And then we're going to make an endpoint that you will post to. Actually, I'll just do a get. That's going to be called translate. And then all this example code is going to go in there. We want to send back the translation, so I'm just going to send the input text just because, and then the translated text. And then we need to actually start the server. So this is fine for actual production, but I'm going to use a thing called PM2, which will pick up new changes while I'm like working on the code, so I don't have to restart the server manually every time. pm2 start server. And then I think you have to say watch. Maybe not. We'll find out. Okay. So, oh, we actually have to install the dependencies too. So I'm going to grab, oops. So we need translate, we need express, and then for development we need pm2. And okay, that's running. So I'm gonna say let language so that we can change it. So I'm going to change it to French just so you can see the map is working. And it appears to be frozen. Yeah, so you change to French, you get a bunch of. Okay, so now I got to think a bit. So this stuff is still installing. So now we're going to use networking module. Almost. Actually, we need to import it. Ooh. And then I think it's something like networking fetch. I'm going to have to look at the docs. Okay, so I got the name right at least. URL request. Okay, so just gonna grab all this. Okay. So we're actually just going to do a GET request and send it query parameters. So we don't need the body. So if it bugs out, oh well, like we're gonna log it, but kind of just ignore the failure since we have a fallback for this text anyway. So here we need to set the text. So that would be txt.text equals JSON.translation, I think. Put an S in there just for fun. Okay. And then we got to define the URL. And since, I mean, this URL would be something different in production. It'd be like wherever you deploy it to. So like App Engine or, I don't know, wherever you deploy your stuff. So translate and then text equals so I'm going to say default text and then that's going to be the thing we translate. So we got the text to translate, and now we need the language to translate to. So lang equals language. Okay, so I think that's pretty much it for this part. And the rest of the stuff we're going to do on the server. So let's try starting the server now that the dependency is installed. Okay. So I'm just going to clear out the other stuff that PM2 is running just in case it matters. And then I guess I'll add the command to open the logs too. Okay, so there's an error. It's because I'm trying to use await inside of a non-async block. So just make that async and then it should run. Okay. No? Oh, project ID. Okay, yeah, this is a whole nother can of worms. So you're gonna put your project ID here. I'm gonna I guess I'll make a new project. So we're going to go into Google Cloud Console, make a new project and then get a key for the translate service. I think. Oh, maybe there's a link in here. Yeah, set up a project, enable translation API, create a service account, download the private key. I don't think I actually need to download it because I already have this set. But I do need to still set up a project. So when you do this step, you'll probably need to download the JSON file and then do something like edit your bash local something. I don't know. I know it's lazy, but I'm not going to do that part. Ugh. Configure billing account. All right, well, I'm going to pause the stream, I guess, and then do billing stuff, and then I'll be back. Okay, so I enabled billing, and now it's giving me this private key. I don't think I need this, but I'm going to download it anyway, because like once you go past this page, I think it, like that's the only chance you get to download it. So download it,